This is episode 580. And today we're going to be talking about identifying your potential. Discovering what makes you tick is integral to identifying your potential. And that potential is that part of us that is untapped, that as we get closer to it, we can express our true self and have more satisfaction, more alignment, and more meaning in life. And knowing what you're good at and what you want to do in life will make your life more satisfying and fulfilling. If we're stuck or not stuck, if we think we're stuck doing something that we don't like and we see it for the next 30 years, life's not going to be much fun. But when we can identify our potential and start to move closer to it, that's when life can become exciting and be adventurous. If you're struggling to figure out your strengths and ability to accomplish things, and perhaps it would be helpful to take some time to get in touch with your own potential, or at least start to examine that. Because again, if you're feeling out of sorts, stuck, frustrated, whatever that might be, that emotion is a gap between where you are now and your potential. So when we have that gap, we experience these disempowering emotions. And as we reduce that gap by moving closer to our potential, those disempowering emotions subside and we start to feel more empowering emotions. Consider these questions to help identify your potential. Now, again, as I mentioned in many of my podcasts, these aren't the only way to identify your potential. But for the sake of this podcast, these are some ways that I use with my clients and that actually my coaches have used with me in identifying potential. So the first one is, what do you love to do? Now, this may seem, oh yeah, everybody asks me what I love to do. But seriously, what do you love to do? If you had the time to do what you really love, forget about anything else, but if you had the time, is it gardening? Is it working out? Is it reading a book? Is it right? And so we have to think of what we love to do and so we need to remove, how can I make money at it? Or I don't have time for it, or all these excuses. When we argue for our limitations, they become our limitations. So when you think about your potential, you need to be clear. What do I love to do? If I could do anything right now, it doesn't matter, right? What would it be? Write it down, because your passion in a specific area will enhance your abilities to achieve in related activities. So perhaps you love to read romance novels. What does that got to do with my potential? Well, the fact that reading itself might be enjoyable. And then you can read other things. Or perhaps it's the romance that's part of what you love. And then you could take that love for romance and become a romance coach, right? So we can't discount something that we seems trivial, like reading or gardening or sewing or working out, as something that won't help us reach our potential, because your potential is unique to you. Nobody can tell you it's right or wrong what your potential is. And if there are things that you love to do, that's going to open the doors to more things to help you reach your potential. Listen to what others say about you on the good side, not the bad side. What others see as your strengths will most likely be areas that you perform well in. So when they go, I always feel safe when I talk to you. You always have great advice. You always can think out of the box, right? What do people come to you for? What type of advice? But then after you provide some insight, how do they compliment you? You're always so calm. I see you in traffic and you're always so calm. So being calm and collective, being present, right? These are things that our strengths are things we take for granted because they come so easy to us that we think everybody has the same strength, which is false. Our strengths are unique to us. Yes, we may have a strength that some other people have, but the combination of them is uniquely yours. So when people identify those strengths in you, and it may not say, boy, you're so calm. It's just, oh man, I love talking to you about my problems because you listen so well and you have a clear vision on what's going on. Wow, that encompasses a lot of strengths. If you maybe are lost at this point, there's a strength finder test you can take. Gallup Strength Finders. It's a online assessment. You can go to it, take your strengths. They're based on 64 identifiable strengths that every person has. And based on how you answer some questions, it will come back with your top 5 strengths. And those would be something that I would consider looking at and embracing in case you're stuck with what people say about your strengths. The Gallup Strength Finder 2.0 is a great, great assessment to help you identify those strengths which you may be overlooking. What's your dream career? Now, what I would say here is if all the jobs paid the same, what would you want to do? Many people ask the questions of if you hit the lottery, what job would you want to do? Well, most people don't want to do a job if they hit the lottery. They want to go vacation and do other things. But consider every single job pays the same. What would you want to do? And if you'd rather be doing something else, what would it be? So when you start thinking about this, right, let your mind go. Just let it run wild. The point is that when a particular idea has stuck with you over the years, you'll no doubt be highly motivated to make it happen and fulfill your potential. Now, a quick story about how I got into coaching after sales is when I was in high school back in New Jersey, I was reading an article in the Daily News. It was a newspaper, and it talked about how life coaching is the next up and coming profession. This was over 40 years ago, this article. It stuck with me, even while I was in sales, even when I was going to college. This idea of life coaching stuck with me. And it was a sign. I looked at it, it was a sign from the universe. So when I was switching paths from sales to something else, my dream career, if you will, that article came back strong in my mind, and that's how I started to pursue coaching. So have you read a book? Have you seen a TV show about a particular career? Have you seen other people involved? Is there whatever? So think about that part as to what that might be, but to frame it in if every job paid the same, what would you do? Because often we say, well, I can't make money doing that. So, I would love to do it, but I can't make money at it. When we are following our potential, following our passion, miraculous things can happen. Doors will open up that were otherwise closed. So when we look at our potential, we want to make sure that we take away any blinders, roadblocks, scotomas that we may have about that. Surround yourself with people you love. People whom you love and who love you inspire you to go for what you want in life. They nurture, support, and encourage you. It's so important. The community that we have around us, that we surround ourselves with, is so, so important because it can help us. It could be like fertilizer to a plant. It helps us grow. It helps us mature. It helps us reach our highest potential. And that can be virtual, it can be physical, like people around your house, your neighborhood, your community, your religious place of worship, nature, whatever it is. But surround yourself with people who will truly, truly encourage you and truly love you. And help you identify the path you're supposed to be on. Often we have people around us because we want to complain to them. We want to share our problems with them. That's really not okay, but if that's what you do, but find people who will turn that complaint around and ask you how you're going to grow from it, how you're going to move forward. How does that help you reach your potential, right? Have people around you that will challenge you to grow into the person you are meant to be. Find a coach. Hey, this is what I do. I love helping people find, identifying, and move closer to their potential. If you don't use me, find a coach. A coach is someone who will help you cultivate your greatest joy, interest, or talent. They will be reflective. They will ask you. They see things in you that even your friends and family don't see. They recognize by the words you're saying, by the things that you describe, by the patterns you give. A coach will help identify this potential in you and not tell you what it is. The coach will help you discover it. They're not going to say, oh, your potential is this, or your passion is this, or your bliss is this. No, they're going to help you get to those aha moments where you can come and go, wow, that's what I thought. Thanks for clarifying it. And once you get that clarified, then you can start to take action. And the coach can help you create an action plan on living into your full potential. Because when we get closer to our potential, again, life becomes more exciting. It becomes more fulfilling. It becomes more pleasurable. So just keep in mind, once you know what you love to do, you'll be closer to identifying your potential in life. Also, being in touch with your own strengths and having supportive people, including a mentor or a coach around you, will help tremendously. Focus on discovering your own potential to create the life you desire. Think about that. What would be your ideal? I'm taking a coaching program right now, and it talks about what's your ideal day, what's your perfect day. And perfect isn't really the right word, but I would say more your ideal day. What's your ideal day? What's your ideal week? What's your ideal month? What's your ideal year? And that's the life that you desire. And you get that by going closer to your potential, by following your passion, living with purpose, and following that potential. So if you'd like to see the show notes on this, you can go visit warriormindcoach.com for more information. While you're over there, you'll see some other podcasts, some other blog posts, and ways to contact me. While you're on the internet, please follow me on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest under Warrior Mind Coach.